severe hail in Italy, extreme heat and wildfires across Europe, snowfall in the arid regions of Chile. These are just a few of the anomalies that have swept across the planet over the past week. But the most serious danger lies not on the surface, but deep within the Earth. Today, we will explain why Siberia may become the epicenter of a global catastrophe. Russia. The climatic and geodynamic situation in the area of the Siberian magmatic plume continues to deteriorate. Signs of magma uplift are becoming increasingly evident. On June 28th, an earthquake with a magnitude of 5.1 struck northern Yakutia. The epicenter was located approximately 280 kilometers from the settlement of Chokurdak, at a depth of about 10 kilometers. Experts note a steady increase in seismic activity in the northern regions of Yakutia over recent years. Notably, this powerful earthquake was recorded by international seismic services, while federal Russian media made no mention of it. On the morning of June 28th, a major ground collapse occurred in Norilsk, Krasnoyarsk Krai, forming a sinkhole with an area of 132 square meters and a depth of 25 meters. The collapse swallowed several garages and a utility trailer where a female watchwoman had been stationed. 4 days later, her fate remained unknown. Search efforts were hindered by incoming water and the risk of further collapse. According to the Ministry of Emergency Situations, the sinkhole was caused by thawing permafrost. This was the second such incident in Norilsk in recent months. In April, a large sinkhole formed in the area, measuring about 500 square meters and more than 7 meters deep. On June 30th, a severe thunderstorm struck the northern part of Krasnoyarsk Krai. The cities of Norilsk and Dudinka were hit by intense downpours, lightning, and strong gusty winds. Within minutes, the streets turned into rushing rivers, flooding roads and building entrances. Large hailstones, up to 4 centimeters in diameter, accompanied the storm and caused significant damage to many vehicles. Local residents admitted they could not recall weather like this before. Usually, the cold air and harsh Arctic climate prevent such powerful storms from developing. Italy. On June 26th, northern Italy was hit by devastating storms. In Sicily and several other cities in the Friuli region, unusually large hail fell, with some hailstones exceeding 10 centimeters in diameter. This extreme weather event became one of the most severe in Europe in recent years. The storm struck suddenly, catching residents off guard. It caused significant damage to buildings and vehicles, and on some roads, traffic was obstructed due to ice accumulation. Agriculture also suffered greatly. Vineyards and fruit orchards were hit hard. The storm was accompanied by tens of thousands of lightning strikes. Heatwave and wildfires in Europe. An unseasonal heatwave has settled over Europe. In some regions, temperatures exceeded the average by 5 to 10 degrees Celsius. Several countries recorded new national temperature records for the month of June. On June 28th, the Spanish municipality of El Granado recorded a temperature of plus 46 degrees Celsius. On June 29th, the town of Mora in Portugal experienced extreme heat, with temperatures reaching plus 46.6 degrees Celsius. On the same day, thermometers at 10 weather stations across the country showed temperatures exceeding 44 degrees Celsius. Austria and Slovenia also registered national June temperature records. Italy's Ministry of Health issued red alerts for extreme heat in 16 cities, including Rome, Milan, Venice, Florence, and Naples. In France, the Meteorological Service declared an orange alert level in the overwhelming majority of departments, in 84 out of 101. In the southwest of the country, temperatures rose above 40 degrees Celsius. In the Audi department, wildfires broke out, destroying 400 hectares of land and prompting the evacuation of a campground and an abbey. In Germany, the heat led to a drop in water levels in the Rhine River, complicating navigation and increasing shipping costs. At the same time, high demand for cooling in Germany and France caused electricity prices to rise sharply. In the city of Sarajevo, the capital of Bosnia and Herzegovina, the temperature reached 38.8 degrees Celsius, the highest in 124 years of records. In the northwest of the country, train services were temporarily halted due to rail tracks deforming under the extreme heat. June became the driest on record in several areas. with some regions seeing not a single drop of rain throughout the entire month. Amid these natural disasters, several large wildfires broke out in the canton of West Herzegovina, threatening residential areas and infrastructure. One of them started in the municipality of Ljubuški on the night of June 28th. Strong winds, constantly shifting in direction, hindered firefighting efforts and made it impossible to use aircraft or drones. The fire was brought under control only after a week. On June 26th, a large fire ignited just 40 kilometers from Athens, Greece. Fueled by 40-degree heat and strong gusty winds, it quickly spread into forests and vacation homes. Preliminary reports say the fire destroyed no fewer than 20 buildings. Emergency evacuations were declared in 5 districts, including areas near the ancient temple of Poseidon, and coastal roads were closed. Boats were stationed offshore for potential sea evacuations. By the end of June, hundreds of wildfires had broken out in Turkey, triggered by extreme heat and strong winds. In the Turkish province of Izmir, flames reached resort areas and one of the country's most famous archaeological sites, the ruins of ancient Ephesus. In the Menderes and Seferihisar districts, the fire spread to residential neighborhoods, damaging homes and vehicles. Residents had to be evacuated from streets surrounded by flames. 46 people were injured in the fires and hospitalized, one of them in serious condition. In the city of Izmir, the fire engulfed a car dealership and a home appliance warehouse. Both were completely destroyed. On June 29th, the province's main airport, Adnan Menderes, was temporarily closed, causing flight delays of nearly a full day. More than 1,000 firefighters were mobilized to battle the blazes, along with helicopters and aircraft. Across the globe, heat, drought, winds, and deep earth degassing are intensifying. These factors are creating favorable conditions for wildfires that start earlier than usual, spread rapidly, and are difficult to contain. In Europe alone this year, nearly 200,000 hectares have burned, more than twice the average. France. On June 25th, France was gripped by powerful storms accompanied by torrential rain, thunderstorms, large hail, and even tornadoes. Experts have classified this weather event as a derecho. An orange-level weather alert was issued in nearly half of the country's departments. In a single night, fire and rescue services carried out 2,500 emergency operations. The storm disrupted train services across the country. In several regions, wind gusts exceeded 130 kilometers per hour, an all-time record for those areas. Approximately 110,000 homes were left without electricity. During the height of the storm, falling trees caused the deaths of 2 people. In addition, 17 people were injured due to the severe weather, with one of them in critical condition. In Normandy, hurricane-force winds damaged nearly 1/3 of the Lion Forest, the largest woodland area in the region. Within minutes, the Church of St. Peter in the commune of Valley was completely destroyed. The building had just been restored after 35 years of renovation work. In Paris, the rainfall was so intense that visibility dropped below 50 meters. The southern parts of the city were flooded, and transportation came to a standstill. Several metro stations had to be closed. Leaks began in the National Assembly building, forcing a temporary suspension of parliamentary sessions. A fallen tree nearly crushed a car carrying a married couple. The vehicle was beyond repair, but the couple miraculously survived. Chile. On June 25th, snow fell in Chile's Atacama Desert, a surprising event for local residents, as the region is known as one of the driest places on Earth, where precipitation is extremely rare. In the Antofagasta region, at an altitude of over 4,200 meters, a serious incident occurred. On International Highway CH-27, a truck became stuck due to a snow layer up to 10 centimeters thick, blocking traffic in both directions. Approximately 40 people, including elderly individuals and children, became stranded. They spent the night in their vehicles in temperatures as low as -7 degrees Celsius, while rescue teams made their way to them across snowy and difficult terrain. It is worth noting that the average minimum temperature in this area during June is usually around +2 degrees Celsius. On some sections of the highway, drivers of several trucks were forced to endure the freezing cold for 3 to 4 days, unable to continue their journey. China. At At the end of June, Rongjiang County in China's Guizhou province was hit by 2 floods in just 4 days. According to experts, this flood was the most severe ever recorded in the region. The first wave of the disaster claimed the lives of 6 people and affected more than 100,000. Over 50,000 residents had to be evacuated. Raging floodwaters inundated streets and caused massive damage to infrastructure. One of the county's largest shopping malls was submerged in muddy water. Store owners reported that the water rose so rapidly there was no time to save any belongings. They had to flee immediately. One business owner admitted that upon returning the next morning, he was in shock. Everything had been destroyed overnight. On June 28th, Rongjiang County was struck by a second wave of flooding. Authorities were once again forced to urgently evacuate more than 40,000 people. Local residents who had just finished cleaning their homes and shops from mud and debris were not expecting to have to start over so soon. The flooding also damaged a local landmark once again, the Village Super League football field. Pakistan. On June 27th, a tragedy occurred on the Swat River in Pakistan as the north of the country was experiencing torrential rains. Adults were relaxing on the riverbank while children were playing and taking photos in the shallow water. Suddenly, a surge of rainwater swept through the area and carried them away in a powerful current. The flow was so strong it resembled the breaking of a dam. The adults rushed to rescue the children, but became trapped themselves. The raging water cut off their path to the shore. For over an hour, they clung to a narrow island in the middle of the river, waiting for help. Tragically, they too were swept away by the powerful current. At least 9 people lost their lives in the incident, including children. 4 people remain missing, while 4 others were rescued. Authorities reported that warnings about the risk of flooding had been issued in advance, along with a ban on approaching the water. However, many people ignored these safety advisories. Heavy rains and sudden floods in Pakistan have claimed the lives of 45 people in just a few days. Everything shown in this video is not just a series of isolated disasters. These are links in a single chain, manifestations of deep processes occurring within the Earth's interior. The most alarming situation is unfolding in Siberia, where unusual earthquakes, massive ground collapses, and other anomalies are being observed. All of this points to the activation of one of the largest magmatic plumes on the planet. Around 250 million years ago, a powerful eruption of this plume led to the formation of the Siberian traps and caused the Great Permian Extinction, the largest ecological catastrophe in Earth's history, which wiped out the majority of living organisms. Today, we are once again witnessing similar processes. The zone beneath Siberia, affected by magmatic flows, is already comparable in size to the entire continent of Australia. This is not just a regional anomaly. We are dealing with a threat of planetary scale. If a breakthrough occurs, the consequences could be catastrophic. A vast portion of the Earth could become uninhabitable. And yet, there is a real way to prevent disaster: planned degassing. Controlled release of gases and magma from the Earth's interior could not only prevent a potential plume eruption, but also reduce internal pressure within the Earth's magmatic system. This could help avert devastating earthquakes with thousands of casualties like those seen in Turkey, Myanmar, and other countries, and contribute to stabilizing the global climate. One would think that such a threat should be at the forefront of global attention. And yet, the media space is almost completely silent, especially in Russia. A natural question arises: why? The answer is simple. If people learn the truth about the looming catastrophe, they will begin to demand answers, evacuations, and concrete action. And that threatens the interests of those who are used to controlling this territory and profiting from its resources. That is why the topic of the magmatic plume is being silenced, ridiculed, and deliberately discredited. What is our path forward? Not to stay silent, to speak openly about this issue, to spread the information so that as many people as possible know the truth. We must awaken public awareness and demand concrete steps from those in power. If we stay silent today, there may be no tomorrow.